Here's my Taz shirt. I don't know if you can see it very good. It's here. Maybe. A little better. Yeah, a little better. The lighting, I have it for like straight on, but yeah. Another time I'll stand back and wear it and show you the whole thing, but yeah. Um, I was thinking about, yeah, my personality being like Taz in a lot of ways. Um, for the mere reason I hear this stupid saying all the time. I've had people tell me um that I was a force to be reckoned with. Go excuse yourself somewhere. You aren't reckoning with no force. You know, why do people say that? It's always the weak and the jealous people that say, "Oh, well, they're a force to be reckoned with." You think you have a reckoning with a force, huh? There's something to think about. Maybe you do. I know I have in my life, but I mean, if you've heard that and you know you're a warrior, you're thinking to yourself, like, what? Reckoned with, huh? So, right up front, you're telling me that I'm somebody you're gonna reckon with? I reckon you can't. That's my thought for today. I don't know what my subject is right now, but I hear that all the time. A force to be reckoned with. Hmm, I don't think so. you know, I had this one woman write, and we used to be friends, but um, I think when I challenge women that aren't, when they're passive, like totally passive, or they want to be like what's the word, covert narcissists, try to play, especially this is a mostly a feminine tactic, but they'll act like total twats to you and think that they're safe, that you can't do anything to them. um Yeah, if you said that in front of me, there'd be some reckoning. I mean, the way I've been treated in my life by a lot of people. And we might have an interruption, by the way, but it's not, we'll work through it. I'll just tell Doug if he comes in, I'm making a video. And um, so, yeah, there might be a little bit of noise, but sometimes, I mean, if they can't reckon with you, they'll try and just bother you no matter what, and that's what pisses me off. It's like, okay, so maybe you're jealous or maybe you just hate me or whatever it is, but you're not brave enough to do something actually to me. You have to manipulate your words and actions and even inspire other people to act the same way in groups because you're afraid to do that one on one. You aren't going to reckon with me. So, anyway, yeah, bugs me. Oops, just a minute here. It is very cold out here. It says 4 degrees. So, yeah, um, we've been burning a lot of wood. And I feel pretty good today. I got my exercises in, and um, yeah, just Not not too much yet. I have some work I have to do, but I thought I'd get this video done a little earlier since I didn't make one yesterday. So in case people were wondering, I really didn't have a lot to talk about. If I did, it was going to be about this person that says he's our commander in chief, which to me is an insult to the natives, that they would even pick that. Where'd you go from being a king in or a queen in England, come over to the United States and call yourself a chief? That's not by mistake, by the way, people. That's a total insult to the red people. Yes, it is. So some people might not feel like that, but some people don't have empathy for the red people and their land. You'd rather go fight in Israel and help a war criminal kill more people all around the world like they always have, you know. Or maybe you wouldn't, maybe not you personally, you know. So, yeah. I don't know if anybody from Lady Babylon is over here watching, but Alman was in a library parking lot yesterday, a very nice setting. He gets better reception for his internet there, and which is good. Well, anyway, it was a beautiful setting, and some jackass is like, "Oh, you're in the parking lot of Walmart or some trollish thing." And as Almond's telling people, he's got 4 masters and 12 um, undergraduate courses that he took. And this is a linguist, so I put through videos from people that know the language and the changes in the language, like Dr. Hillman and Jason from Archaics. If them two got together, if Jason could lower his barrier for the distrust of the um, institutional education, and if Alman could see the knowledge behind somebody spending 30 years of their life incarcerated and doing nothing but reading, those two together, oh, I mean, just what Jason's got in his brain, those two, if they talk together, we wouldn't need any other channels for the truth community. That'd be it right there. That's all you'd need, basically. I mean, to get like the text straightened around in people's minds with the proof of the timelines and what Jason's got charted in his book said he's written to help people, and Dr. Allman's book said he's written to help people. So, um, yeah, I'd love to see those two put their differences aside and see what they've got in common. You know, that's just my outlook on that. Because Jason can do what I've got in my head. Jason's got in charts that can be proven and shown. Um, that would take somebody else probably, if you could even get it all, because he's got um, when he started taking notes, and his dad would take boxes of notes that Jason data mined out of these old texts that were in these prisons that he was in. They would take full libraries that weren't being used from places and give them to the prisoners, and Jason ended up with access to some of the greatest material that any of us could even encounter if we ever encountered it. And he wrote all these notes, like notebooks after notebooks of stuff that he'd send boxes home with for his dad to keep for him. And when he got out, he was super surprised that his father had kept all that information for him, and he was able to um, earn a living now because of all his hard work, which I think everybody should be able to earn a living off your hard work. Yeah, especially if it's not for yourself. It's not self-serving. I mean, it can be. Like I said, why not make for yourself a living unless you've got some kind of contract that you're forbidden to do that. But besides that, if you can full bore go out there and share with the world your information, there's no reason why you shouldn't be making a living off of that. So, so if people want to, I mean, Almond Hillman isn't even charging people for the information that he's putting out there, and he offers courses in ancient Greek that he used to teach in college to college students. Um, he wasn't the student at one time, yeah, but he was the teacher of this. So if you want to get the best of the best, I mean, it's just like I've said before, there's ancient words that were borrowed or taken from the Greek and put into Hebrew texts. Now just stop right here. This is where we stop right here. The text, the Septuagint, was written in Greek. They translated it into Hebrew. End of story. It doesn't go any further than that. And I've proven on videos when they change that. Jason's got charts proving the chronology. That's what he does. He's probably there might be 2 or 3 chronologists that prove timelines with data and dates from around the world, and Jason's one of them. I don't know if there's any other that are actually alive, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, I know personally. I mean, I'm going to help as much as I can, but personally, I've done enough work for um, probably at least 1,000 people from what I've noticed in my life and the way people act when I'm working and they're not. So um, I'm not really too gung ho about expending what time I have left. I mean, I'm going to help people like I always have, but I know other people were not studying old texts and documents and that type of thing at 15 or before, like I was. And it does it gets old. And so do people. I mean, it's not that I don't have the energy. It's just that I don't want to spend the rest of my life looking up words for other people when I already know the words. I already know the story. I will help all I can. But I've commissioned minds out there, and that's what we should do is pass on and share the information that people can come together and make a greater impact than I can. Barely anybody watches me. Would they watch me more if I looked up more Greek words? Maybe, because they're lazy. But it's not like I don't already know these things. Who are we trying to get to? Is who's our audience? who's going to help? I mean, if you've already done decades of work, um, yeah, great minds coming together. But like for me personally, people don't even talk to me. So I woke up and it was really weird. I go out and what I'm thinking is exactly what Doug said. We're both wondering who wants to use us today and what they want to use us for. You know, um, yeah. I mean, I'm out to help the oversoul and the people that respect that energy, but it's not self-serving. So I don't know. I'm leery. I have every right to be. I mean, when you can do things other people can't do, then you have to ask yourself why people want to be around you or what they actually want from you, you know? Oh, remember I was telling you about feeling that electricity behind my teeth the other day? And then I walked out and I pet my cat, and she just about fell off the chair. She jumped because I shocked her so bad. I used to do that when people were mean to me, adults. I would collect my sparks and give them a good one. And I wonder, and yeah, people can be electronic, but it was really weird because nobody had that amount of electric that I could produce. It was like, what's different with you? What why can I produce that much energy and somebody can't? But then I hear people are created equal. Hmm, really? Are you sure about that? I'm not so sure. But then again, I need to be reckoned with. Well, try it. You know, that's what I told this stubby little thing that said I was a force to be reckoned with. Mm, is that right? Good luck, midget. So anyway, oh, I had a good supper last night. A great big dill pickle with two egg salad sandwiches and some chips. So no sugar. I don't think I'm going to have any sugar tonight either. I'm going to make country fried steaks and Brussels sprouts. So, yeah, I always try to plan my meals like even the day before because, yeah, my nutrition is really important to me. And I've listened through the decades of all these clowns, and I studied nutrition. I actually helped plan the menus in the school system I worked in for the kids through the year. And I knew what I would want if I went to school on my plate. So that's the way I mean, to keep strong. And that's the way I would plan the meals for the kids. No kids ever went hungry in our school when I was in the kitchen uh, for over 5 years. Well, the same school system. I had done janitorial work, um, worked in the kitchen as a lunch lady, and paraprofessional working with emotionally disabled children. So I did different jobs within this school system. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, even if they didn't have money for a lunch, we'd let them go to like the salad bar, or there'd be something from the day before, like a piece of chicken and some salad and some cookies and a milk, or, you know, something good for them all the time. Nobody ever went hungry. I ran across the article. There were um, three children that, or wait, no, two children died in a van, sleeping in a cold van, and three of them were hospitalized in Detroit, the United States of America. And we send money to other countries so they can be okay. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? These are United States citizens. There's no reason there isn't facilities that should be open, more facilities for the people in this country before we help anybody else. And buying bombs for people, you can go kill yourself right now. Anybody that signs any paper sending armaments to another country, you not only need your head examined, you need it split open and dissected. So, yeah, it's disgusting. But yeah, I've ran across this jealousy thing and this bullshit all my life out of men and women, and it is hard to make friends. I'm just saying it. I thought when I got older that that type of thing would end, but it hasn't, you know. I couldn't figure it out at first. It's like, why? And why is everybody so stupid? Um, like they don't have like an engineering mind. They can't figure anything out. If something breaks, they're fucking helpless. They just throw it away. They don't think about fixing it because why think in a replaceable world? You know, it's people are so lame. But then they say everybody's created equal. Hmm. Yeah, we might have been, right? Then people blame fluoride. Well, there's people I know as dumb as a rock that have never had a drop of fluoride. Well, how do you account for that? You know? Or even the very well to do, the wealthy, um, passing on their blood money from one generation to another. And what they have that is intelligence is a group of thugs that will kill you for your money and then put a suit on and tell you that they're more intelligent than you are and they deserve what's yours. That's the type of thing I'm sick of, you know. People like that. I used to here's a scenario. I used to go to like a Christmas party at an aunt's or something, and they had like, oh, the rec room, and in their dining room they had a grand piano and all their shit. Freaking velvet chairs with plastic on them still, so nobody would get them dirty and all that. You know, it's like, well, if you're a millionaire, do you think you can maybe take the plastic off your chairs? You know, I always thought that was a little bit weird. You know, I like going there because they had exercise equipment in the basement. I did too. We had like barbells and all kinds of sports equipment and different things, but they had um, uh, exercise incline bench. Oh, in the 60s, even before that teeter thing came out, that reminds me. We have one of those teeter things we've got to set up. Doug ordered it. I thought about setting it up, but I'm going to let him do it. So, but that'll be interesting. Imagine being so old. Do you remember that Teeter commercial? He was like 70 and he's like, um, and he jumps off the ground and he's like, I can't remember what he says before he jumps, but it was just sort of funny. And I was thinking to myself, what if you're like all alone in your house and you get on that thing and you're inclined, and your head's down there? What if you get stuck and you don't have the strength or the momentum to pull yourself back up? Well, I know what I would do. I'd just slide down the thing backwards, but I haven't encountered that yet. I might. It's not, I don't know. All I've really got here is I've got my stabilizing ball. I've got resistant band, my stationary bike, and my guns. Yay! No, um, push-ups are my friend. Push-ups are my best friend. Um, and working my legs out. And I've been staying away from an injured spot on my core that I'm going to really be hitting this summer. I can feel myself feeling better. I had some really bad injuries, but I had at one time pulled all my stomach muscles and ligaments, and I was in this funky brace. I was supposed to be in it for like 9 months. And I pulled my spinal cord. I wasn't ever supposed to walk again. Um, those are two separate accidents that they couldn't keep me down. I think if I had listened to that doctor, he said, "You'll never walk again." He gave me a bunch of pills, some muscle relaxants, and probably like some kind of downers to take away the pain. Because, yeah, it hurt. But a month later, and it took me, I was crawling across the floor. But I started standing by a chair and my spine would just wobble. But I'd stand there until my arms would get sore. And then I put myself back down. For a couple weeks, I did that. And then I started taking some steps. And I was finally able to walk again. And then when I was able to lift things again without my spine feeling wobbly, but I pulled it an inch and a half. A quarter of an inch is enough to release the spinal fluid into your system and you go septic. And so I've been battling all kinds of weird things in my life. So when I say, like I've worked hard, it's just not your average working hard. I have worked through hellacious turmoil and still found time to help other people through the whole thing. And so when somebody says, well, they're going to take time to do this or that, and they don't have physical battles in between, that's nice. But if you have to battle physical things and work emotionally and mentally, that's a double whammy. And that's what I'm telling people. You have no clue what you ask of me and what I've already done. What I've already done, it's out there for the taking. You're not dependent just on me. I have help. You have help. There's many people that are employed for this situation. I'm not being standoffish or cold, but if I direct my energies towards anything, it's going to be for pleasure, you know? Mostly. I'll help as much as I can, you know? And I do love the Greek language, and I'm going to dig deeper into that, but it isn't going to be until I feel like it. So, and I don't know when that will be, but soonly here. I mean, I've studied it all my life, the differences between the Hebrew and the Greek, so I know what's up. You know, I've never changed my mind that God has a wife, and this picture of everything going on is way bigger than a lot of people know. And it's not that this planet's always going to have the graces of the male and the female energies, because they are throwing the female energy under the bus for their greed. And child trafficking has a lot to do with that. If you take the mom out of the picture, sometimes that doesn't go very well. Ask my kids. you know, they thought they would be fine, but they're not. If they ever are, I'll let you know. Someday, maybe one of my sons will be here talking with me to you. That would be a blessing. Yeah, I couldn't get my oldest son to even be able to talk last time he visited here. He's got a form of Parkinson's. Um, he not only stutters, but he's got tremors in his hands and some other really bad things. I think not only attributed to drinking and drug use, and he's labeled schizophrenic, which is onset. I think it started with him I think he was probably about 19. And I noticed some really major changes in the gentleman I raised that was no longer a gentleman. I didn't really recognize him anymore. He's easily controlled by the dark force because of his, I think a lot had to do, and I can't prove, and I'm wondering if fevers like valley fever or head injuries, different things contribute, and I'm certain they do, to mental illnesses, you know. Like, I know there's families that smack their kids in their frontal lobes where you have reasoning and empathy. If you damage the empathic spot in a person, what do you have left? You know? So, okay, everybody, I think that's about it for today. I just wanted to talk about that force to be reckoned with bullshit. Um, there's one force to be reckoned with, and that's the people that will do things to others for their own gains. That's the force that needs to be reckoned with, not the ones that are trying to go up against that. I don't ever want to hear that shit again directed towards a warrior. You direct it to the dark cabal. Nobody else. They're not a force. They're a farce to be reckoned with. So, okay, everybody. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.